Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike here from MB Reviews and More, back with another video for you. Don't usually do videos regarding political stuff. I try to stay away from it, but with the nature of where everything stands and all everything that's just going on, I just figured I'd put my 2 cents in as to where I stand on where we are politically right now. It's a little crazy. I am not red. I am not blue. I'm an independent voter. Up until somewhere around the area, I think between 2005 and like 9ish, I was a registered Democrat. Switched my affiliation back then just because I kind of didn't like the way the Democrat Party was changing, and I didn't really like where they were going. Back when I was younger, the Democrats were all about the working man, and they were a good party, but I think they've fallen quite far from that. They're not, they don't seem to be for that anymore. The problem I have with the Democrats today is that they just don't have any real policy. They do a lot of talking right now, but that's all it is talk. Like for the past, 10 years, everything has just been Trump bad, you know, this, that, and the other. But they don't have anything, there's no policy. The policies that they had, especially the ones in the past 4 years, were terrible. They're all failing policies, and it was putting this country in a bad position. So I just didn't like it. It's just, they're going off in a direction, even now, like everything's, everything's bad. Elon bad, Elon's a Nazi, Elon is this. But they have nothing. They have nothing. What are you going to do if you don't like what he's doing? There's going to be people out there that may not like what he's doing. Hey, you have that right. But if you're going to sit there as a politician and say, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, but you have no counter argument to, all right, well, this is what we can do better. They have nothing. They're just basically talking heads right now, and it's driving me nuts. Now, the Republicans, they have their issues too. The one thing I'll give the Democrats, no matter how bad their policy is, even when they know it, they stick together. They just, 99% of the time, they stick together. The Republicans, they just don't. There's always a few of them that just, they don't agree. They might as well be Democrats. But the Democrats, they stick together, so I'll give them that. As far as some of the current things that are big right now, there's a lot of making a lot of headlines. I'll give you my 2 cents on them, and like I said, you may agree or not agree. Feel free to leave me a comment and tell me why you disagree. But this is just the way I see things. You know, I'm at the age where I've been on the planet now for over a half a century, so I've seen a lot of presidents come and go, a lot of different things. I never used to really follow politics too much when I was younger. And I'm not like somebody who follows it like a nut now. It's just it's more important now because the country was going in a real bad direction. So you really start to pay attention to things, and you start to study more. One of the big things on the table now that has got everybody up in arms is the tariffs. Where I stand on tariffs, I think this was a long time coming. I know we're going to suffer a little bit. There's no doubt about it. We're probably going to suffer a little bit. No, it's going to happen. But for far too long, China has been taking advantage of the United States like no tomorrow. They are the worst of the worst. All these other countries that have tariffs on them, some of them are pretty bad too. But right now, there's over 100 countries ready to negotiate at least. China is just making it worse. With this will do a lot of good. Once if all these other countries we can come to terms with, that's going to help out big time. That helps out the U.S. consumer as well. It's going to be much better for us. Why should we allow countries like China to take massive advantage of us? They charge us so much more than we charge them. It's like 3 to 1. It's ridiculous, and it's not good for anybody. It doesn't help us in the long run. China's only been in since 2005 when they got entered into the WTO. They've taken advantage since day one. They're constantly stealing American IP. They're stealing our secrets. They're stealing our information. You name it. It's not good. It's not good for them to have that. They're an enemy. China's an enemy. Why would we want to give them all this information? And we're just making them stronger. The United States made China what it is today by letting them into the WTO. So it's their own fault that China is what it is. But China doesn't want to stop. China wants world power. They want to be what the U.S. is today. They want their dollar to be the dollar. They want world power. And if things keep heading, we keep letting things like that happen, just don't be surprised that is a very possibility. And nobody in America is going to want that. You're not going to like being under China's authority. Not one bit. And like I said, as far as the tariffs go, we're going to get hurt a little bit. But I think China has to cave eventually because they need us more than we need them. We spend too much money there. We build their economy to what it is. Without us, they're going to get hurt. And if COVID showed us anything, it showed us that we rely on China way, way too much. I mean, we shouldn't, we don't make nothing here no more. We need to bring some of that stuff back regardless. It has to. We can't be going through that. If it happens again, we're in the same boat. We don't make now. Like, we couldn't even get masks. Something simple as a mask we didn't make here. That is just ridiculous that we had to wait for stuff like that. We had people, setting up rooms in their house making masks, but yet we don't do it. We don't have businesses that can produce 1 million masks, and they should be able to do that in a day. Way too much reliance on China. And we need to get out of that. That's best for America. It's good for American jobs, economy. It's great. The other part of that is the other thing that people are all up in arms with is Doge. Doge is another thing that I'm sorry to say, but I am on board with. In my entire life, I've never heard anybody fight for wanting bigger government. Never. It's always there's too much government. Now all of a sudden we have a lot of people saying, oh, you're firing these government employees. Well, you know what? The money is being wasted because they're not efficient. They're not cutting, nothing to do with, like they're saying, oh, they're going to cut your Social Security and Medicare. That's just not happening. The Democrat politicians are saying that, but it's not happened. It hasn't happened. And this administration saying it's not going to happen. So for the Democrats to just keep saying that as fear-mongering, trying to get you all paranoid, but yet it has not happened, and I don't really think it's going to happen. Now, could it? It's possible, but it hasn't yet, and they've been saying it, and saying it, and saying it, and it just hasn't happened. Talking about how you're going to save these, you're going to give all the money to billionaires, this, that, and the other thing. Elon's stealing money and giving it to his rich friends. That is so stupid. It's just dumb. But yet the guy is doing this for free. He's not even taking a pay. But yet he's going to steal money. He's the richest guy in the world. He doesn't need the freaking money. It's so stupid what they say and how many people buy into it. I'm sorry, if you're buying into this, you really need to do a little more study because he's not stealing money. He doesn't need it. The tax breaks that the Trump team are talking about are good for all Americans. They're going to be very good for the middle class and the working family. So how about we wait and see how things go before we keep just saying, oh, they're going to cut Medicaid, they're cutting our Social Security. No, they're not. They haven't done it yet. I don't believe it's going to happen. There's no evidence of it going to happen, and they keep saying they're not going to do it. So I have no reason to believe that they would. As far as people losing their jobs, that happens. I'm sorry, but it happens. When you're cleaning up government waste, some people's jobs are just not necessary. You take something like the VA, where they said the VA, and this is the VA's own people, were operating at 140%. That's 40% more than what the job normally required, and they still couldn't keep up. So they're saying, well, if we can't do it at 140%, how are we going to do it if we start, giving people buyout programs or firing and laying people off? Well, it's very simple. You get people that are more efficient. Obviously, if you can operate 40% over your required staff, then you're not doing something that's efficient. Companies can run, and that's what every company does. They try to get the most efficiency out of their employees, and it can be done. It happens all the time. But yet we're paying all these people, and somebody that tries to get a hold of the VA, I'm sure can agree, it's like pulling teeth. You can't get anybody. So I don't have no problem with seeing these bureaucrats and these government workers take either the packages that Trumps are offering, which a lot of them are. A ton of them are taking these packages, and the ones who end up collateral damage. I don't want big government. I'm sorry. If you want big government, that's fine with me, but I don't want it. I'm sick and tired of big government. Like I said, my whole entire life, I never heard anybody say, oh yeah, I'd love to have bigger government. It just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, and as far as the border goes, how do you argue that he's not doing a good job at the border? There is no argument. In 3 weeks, the border was basically shut down, closed. So I think the administration is doing a great job with that. The deportations, you know, they got to go. If you're here illegally, you need to go. You want to come back to this country, there's a way to come back legally. I got no problem with that. But if you're here illegally, you need to go, especially the criminals. And I think he's doing a good job trying to get these violent criminals out, even though there's a lot of judges trying to make things harder. To me, that's crazy. There was no, where were these judges when they were just letting him in, flying him in? Never mind just letting him in, they were flying him in. There was nobody saying, oh, this is not right. It's a national security issue, for one, and it's a big American safety issue to have these, you know, MS-13 and Tren de Agua in your country. That's it's not safe for anybody. So they need to go. I'm sorry. And there may be some collateral damage, yeah, and that sucks. So some innocent people that didn't deserve to go might end up going, but hopefully they can work that out and fix that. But I mean, there's going to be some collateral damage like anything else, and Democrats are fighting this too. But yet they've been seen many times saying how many people did Obama deport? Same with the tariffs. You know, they're complaining all kinds of hot about that. But go back and watch videos of Chuck Schumer, how he was going off on China, how China tariffs us, and we need to do things. They're hypocrites. That's another problem I have. They yell. The ones who yell a lot us are usually the most guilty of things, and they're yelling pretty loud right now. You know, oh, oligarchy this running the country. Do you realize that the Democrats, who always say, oh, the money's going to go to the billionaire friends, the Democrats have more money behind them than the Republicans, much more. I mean, just look at every election. Look at this past election. Kamala Harris had 3-to-1 money raised over Donald Trump. Way more money than Donald Trump. They always do. They have the billionaires. The billionaires typically back the Democrats, not the Republicans. This time the Republicans got Elon Musk and a couple of other ones, but they were former Democrats. So that should tell you something too. If they're leaving that party, it's because they're concerned. You know, they got businesses that they're worried about. And under the last administration, I mean, the way they were spending money, this country was getting on the borderline of being insolvent, and that's the last thing we need to happen. Like, again, that, you know, we don't need China becoming the world power. That is the last thing. So I think, you know, currently this administration, I don't agree with everything they're doing, but I think they're doing a good job on most things, some of the important things. Like I said, the border, I think Doge is doing a good thing by cleaning up this government waste. Tariffs, like I said, I know they're going to be a little bit of pain, but hopefully it comes together eventually. Like I said, China needs to give, I think, I don't know how long they possibly go, but we can't keep letting them just take advantage. We can't let why people get mad that we're reciprocating tariffs, I don't understand. It's okay for a country to screw us, but it's not good if we, you know, say, hey, if you're charging me 10%, I'm going to charge you 10%. Where is the wrong in that? I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't. We're not here to make other countries rich and make ourselves poor. That's just not the way it needs to be. You're not going to like everything Trump does. I have some things that I don't quite agree with that he's doing. As far as like abortion goes, I believe the woman should have the right to their own choice, but I also believe there needs to be some limitations in that choice. I mean, you shouldn't be going out trying to have an abortion at 8 months, you know, or having one a week. There's people out there making TikTok videos saying, "Oh, I had 50 abortions, now I can't." That's just insane. There needs to be, limitations with the orders. But it is given to the states now, and you have a chance to vote on it. When it comes on the ballot, vote on it. But if you lose and it stays the way it is, then it just tells you, hey, more people want it the other way. And that's the democracy. That's the way it is. You have the option to move to a state that is not as tough on abortion, or just drive to a state where you can get an abortion. Currently, last time I looked, I believe there's only 12 states where you can't get an abortion. So there's plenty of places where you can get one. The no woman in females, no men in female sports, I'm 100% agree with that. I think that's just insane. It's not safe for the woman, and they shouldn't have to go through that. The transgenders in women's bathroom, I don't think they belong in there either. I do feel that there needs to be something done to accommodate them. Maybe, there's plenty of places that can add another bathroom for, maybe for a transgender bathroom. I know it's going to take some work, but we've done bigger things, and adding a bathroom to most of these big facilities and other facilities shouldn't be a huge issue. I understand that it's a weird spot for them, but I don't want men in the bathroom with my daughter either, so I'm sorry, I just don't want it. And she doesn't want it, and most women don't want it, so that should be a no-brainer, and it should be something that's easy enough to fix. And as far as, like I said, the way that the administration is handling things right now, I think it's going pretty well for the most part. I think it's going to take some time to make these things happen, especially when you get the Democrats that just vote everything down, no matter what it is. No tax on tips and stuff that's good for Americans, no tax on Social Security. They just voted down because it's Don J. It's his idea, so they're just against it. But yet you're supposed to be for the American people, and that's a good thing for the American people. But it just goes to show you where they are right now. They're just crazy. The other thing is with Elon Musk, the violence that's going against his dealerships and whatnot, and the way people are treating him, I believe is unfair. He's working real hard to try to save Americans, taxpayers' money. Like I said, you might not like some of the way things are happening, but like I said earlier, since when did we're going to stop fighting for a bigger government? I just don't get it. It makes no sense to me. And this is a guy who was well liked by the Democrats up until about a year ago when he switched teams. He used to sit right next to Obama, and Obama would call him one of the greatest Americans. But now, because he left, he's public enemy number one. The Democrats gave him so many contracts to make to bring Tesla here and make those electric vehicles. Now they're going around keying them, setting them on fire, and most of these people that drive these things are Democrats. They're the ones who that's what the Democrat Party wanted, was for these people to drive these cars, and they got a lot of them to buy them. I mean, there's obviously Republicans that drive them too, but I'd say it's probably like a 70-30 or a 60-40 at the very least split, and you're just keying cars that probably people that feel the same way you do. And to be burning down dealerships and shooting bullets into dealerships, that's just ridiculous, and you really should be put away for doing stuff like that, because you're gonna kill somebody, and if that doesn't bother you, then you got some serious problems over political stuff. The tension shouldn't get that way. Sorry to say it, but that's just ridiculous to me. I also think that once we start getting a large number of the illegal immigrants out of the country, deported back out to their homes, and a lot of the government waste and these tariffs start to take place with these countries, give us better terms, you're going to see our economy really start to grow. With a lot of the immigrants getting deported, it's also going to help the housing crisis we've been in, where it's almost impossible to find housing. Because you got to remember, you got 15, 20 illegal immigrants in here, you got to house them. And people wonder why we're having a housing crisis. That's a huge part of it. There's 20 million extra people in your country. You're already struggling a little bit. Now you add 20 million people, you're struggling a shit ton. So that's going to help in a lot of ways. And once these countries do come to better terms, you're going to see our economy really start to to come into fold, especially now. Some things we're already getting, but like the gas is pretty good where I am. It's gone down quite a bit already. Eggs are coming down. Everything that people have been complaining about eggs. I don't do a ton of eggs in the store, but they have come down. But we need to see more, and but it's going to take time. The guy's been in office 100 days, but these Democrats, they weren't complaining over the last 4 years when things were skyrocketing. It's just now you're hearing from it, and it's like, oh, it's not fixed yet. It's not fixed yet. Like it's going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. I know Trump can say some stupid things like, oh, I'm going to have this fixed on day one, but that's him. That's what he does, and but he's getting the job done. And it shouldn't surprise anybody that any of this stuff is happening. I mean, he campaigned vigorously on this agenda, and he's playing it out now. He's playing it out. So I don't know why this is a surprise. The tariffs, the border, the illegals, the gender stuff. He clearly said this is what he was going to do, and the American people spoke loud and clear, and they voted him in. So now he's performing the agenda just like he said he was going to do, which is actually should be refreshing to most people, because most presidents, they get in there, they tell you they're going to do this, that, and the other thing, and nothing happens. They don't get nothing done. This is probably, in my lifetime, I don't remember an administration that has also been this transparent. I mean, they are showing you pretty much everything, and you're seeing it live on the news. That just doesn't happen. I mean, look at the past administration. You never seen Joe. Never. It was very rare. I mean, I think Don J did more interviews in his first 2 weeks than Joe did in his whole entire term, and he continues to do it. So, like I said, you may not agree with anything I said. You might not like Don J. You might not. But I mean, to root against the president, whoever the president is, to want to see him fail, I think is kind of ridiculous, because it's not good for the country, no matter what side you're on. I wasn't a big fan of Joe at all. I thought he was doing a bad job, but I didn't want to see him fail either, because if he's failing, the country's failing. So that doesn't make no sense. That's why we have an election every 4 years. We don't like what we see, we vote in a different way, and you hope for the best. Sometimes your side wins, sometimes the other side wins. It's just the way it is. But I think what this administration is doing right now is heading in the right direction. I think crime itself is just going way down. Like that's something that was kind of not really talked about much during the last administration, but crime was getting ridiculous. I mean, especially you look at places like New York. It was insane. You could go into a store and basically steal up to $1,000 and get a slap on the wrist, and you're home the same day, and you can go out and do it again tomorrow. That's insane. That does nothing good for any of these small businesses, but kill them. These blue states, some of the laws that they have they just need to be changed. They're terrible. They're not good for the state, and they're not going to be able to handle that long term. And the blue states with the taxes. I mean, I live in a blue state. This whole area is blue. I'm in New England. The whole New England area is blue, with a couple of exceptions. Maybe New Hampshire will flip once in a while. But the taxes in these states are ridiculous. We pay a ton of taxes. Our housing cost is extremely high. And with the salaries you make, they're not terrible, but to handle all these high costs and everything they keep throwing at us, it's not easy. The blue states kill you, tax-wise. They kill you. And things need to change. And I think this country needed a hard reset, and I think this administration is trying to do that. You might not like the way he's going about doing it. I get it. But the thing is, if he actually pulls this off, it is going to be so good for this country, and it's going to be so good for us as citizens. You're going to see that things are so much better. At least that's the way I see things. Like I said, you may or may not agree. Let me know what you think and what you'd like to see, and let's keep it civil. No need to be going nuts in the comments. I'm willing to listen to you, respond to you, regardless of where you stand on this stuff. I don't believe that, democracy is democracy. We're supposed to be able to vote for who we want. Um, I don't understand why people hate each other because somebody voted for this person, or they ain't talking to their family no more because they voted for that person. To me, that is really and truly insane, to treat your loved ones like that because they disagree with you. They don't see eye to eye on some of the opinions. But again, to each his own, and that's just crazy to me. But I'm always willing to talk to somebody, regardless of what side of the aisle I'm. Like I said, I'm independent. I just don't have much confidence in the Democrats right now. There's a couple that are still doing a decent job, and I think are okay. But for the most part, they have no leadership and they have no real policy. They need to stop focusing on what Donald's doing and saying he's bad and the E-man is bad and Nazis, Hitler, blah blah blah. How about sit down, get together and come up with some real policy? If you got some great ideas for 2028, maybe you'll get back in there, and maybe you'll get my vote. But until then, I'm finding a hard time voting for a Democrat right now, just because there's no policy. There's nothing but bad policy or failed policy coming out of them, and just hate speech, and they're just, I don't know where, they're just going off the rails. And I'm sorry, but they're just going a little crazy. They need to regroup. They need a hard reset. But like I said, let me know what you think. These are just strictly my opinions, the way I'm seeing things, and I just really worry about if things kept going the way they were going. I mean, China's right there. They want to take over. China wants to be the world power. There's no, they're not keeping that a secret. They want to do it, and we need to stay out in front and not let that happen, because if they ever do get world power, life as you know, it's going to change drastically, and you'll be praying for a guy like Don J to be in office. If something like that happens, you're going to wish that you had a guy like that leading the country. But let me know what you think. I mean, am I totally wrong on all this stuff? Do you agree with some of it? Willing to listen. Like I said, I don't do too much political stuff, but you get a little, everywhere you turn now, like on the social media, like everything's political. Nobody is like, does anybody do anything else anymore, or they're just complaining about politicians? It's insane. But yeah, let me know. I know this has been a little long. I've been rambling on a little bit, but let me know what you think. And until next time, this is Mike from MB Reviews and More, and I'll see you